Hello and welcome to Washington Central Podcast. I'm Saurabh Shukla. We're going to talk about the war on Iran. Clearly, while the talks were held in Switzerland and there is a 60-day pause, there is much of back channel negotiations which are happening now with Qatar stepping in more actively. Sources are telling me here in Washington, D.C., that the U.S. wants to use the 60-day pause for two big reasons. One, obviously, to make sure that there is a template of sorts that is agreed on the nuclear issue, because they don't want Iran, and they're watching it very carefully, to use this pause to assemble a nuclear weapon of any kind. And that's the reason why the nuclear issue is the critical element, they say, for any peace deal with Iran. And certainly there is expectation now that through interlocutors, there will be technical groups that will be meeting in Switzerland to resume these talks, which is a positive news, because obviously, as I've been saying, that any incremental step is a way forward for this war, which has impacted the entire world. On Strait of Hormuz, while the pause continues, there is still limited traffic passing through, and there are reports coming out that Iran is now mulling, post the 60-day pause, a toll of sorts. It may not be a toll, but maybe some kind of environmental fee, some kind of a creative solution that the Iranians are thinking, because they've realized that this is something, this strait can be weaponized. And that's one of the Iranian planks. They believe that if they lose the nuclear, I would say a plank of sorts, or nuclear, nuclear issue, so to say, that they had, they can definitely now revert back to Strait of Hormuz as one of the negotiating plank. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance has also said that Qatar will be having the next round, will be leading the next round of negotiations. And obviously, they're going back and forth. But as I said, this is a fragile peace. There is still no lasting peace in the Middle East. On a parallel track, the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, has been visiting the Gulf states, telling them that the U.S. will stand by them, because obviously a lot of these states were worried about the Iranian attacks on them, especially countries like UAE, which had its economy in shambles. I would say the economic epicenters like Dubai, they were badly impacted by the Iranian attacks. And certainly some reassurance coming from the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, will be, I would say, much needed for these Gulf allies for the U.S. U.S. also is preparing for a post-60-day scenario. So that's like advanced planning, if you ask me, that if this truce holds, then also these Gulf allies will be critical. If it does not hold for any reason, then also U.S. needs them on their side. So these I think, diplomatic parlays are in the right direction. And I would assume that while this truce is holding, other countries across the globe, the Europeans, NATO chief was here in DC, other countries would also jump in to make sure that this peace process succeeds and this peace in the Middle East can be long lasting. The other key element for this would be to solve the issue of Lebanon, because obviously Israel is concerned about attacks from Hezbollah, Hamas, who are all sheltered in Lebanon. And obviously before that issues get settled, so it's very, very critical to deal with the Lebanon issue at the same time, and maybe empowering the government in Lebanon, and also having clear guarantees that Lebanon cannot be used for any terror attacks on Israel or any other country. So that's a vital part of the deal as well. So it's a bit complicated than what one would expect. This is not a straightforward agreement, but my sense is that with this 60-day truce, so to say, the world is getting a breather. The oil prices are already down. The crude oil is touching under 70 a barrel. And obviously, while it's still to trickle down to consumers, but my sense is that this will also happen in due course. So there is some good news on those fronts. And we just hope that this deal will last. Switching focus to something else, which has been hogging the headlines, the tussle between President Trump and his Republican colleagues in the US Congress on the War Powers Bill, which was introduced and passed in the House of Reps, also was passed in the Senate, which curbs president's power. It's a 1973 federal uh, law which says that the president cannot go to war without an authorization from the Congress. And certainly, Congress giving a thumbs down meant a big setback for the president. He went for a Senate lunch and had a heated exchange, sources are saying, with some of the senators. And post that, some of them revised their vote. So clearly, that points to the fact that it's Trump's word, which still matters in the GOP, in the Republican parties. He's still somebody whose endorsement carries a lot of weight. And that was evident because the senators then revised their vote, and this resolution was stalled in the U.S. Senate. So that obviously is some kind of a breather for President Trump, and also avoids embarrassment for the president, because that's something was one of the key concerns the White House had, that this was trying to challenge not only president's authority but also his. This would have impacted the negotiation with Iran, because obviously Iran is mindful of the fact, and they are using a bizarre strategy, with the Iranian strategy of wearing the adversary down, in this case the US. They were trying to go back and forth on the negotiations because they were mindful that the US President Donald Trump has a midterm to deal with. That may limit his ability, and also they were thinking that the president of the US wants a quick deal, and they may be able to extract some concessions. So this is a complicated game of, I would say, a geopolitical chess which is playing, and this is the power play, classic power play. This is at the front of it. For now, President Trump, with this, has an edge, and hopefully these negotiations will conclude soon. But clearly, there are pressure points within the Republican parties which are putting pressure on White House to toe its line, and also not to ignore the senators and the congressmen and women. And that's clearly a messaging coming out from the GOP top brass as well. Going forward, let's talk about the other big issue, which is the Indo-US trade deal. The Indo-US trade deal is, again, it's been going back and forth. The US Trade Representative Greer was there in New Delhi to talk on the deal and to finalize the contours. He had intensive parleys with Piyush Goyal, India's Commerce and Industry Minister. And the sense I'm getting is from sources that while there has been some positive movement, they say till the time the talks break, every moment is positive. So that has happened. The moment which is, I would say, is positive to the extent that they have agreed to understand each other's concerns. But the big thing is that there is no deal as yet. One of the big concerns India is now raising, sources are telling me, that apparently countries in South Asia and countries which are competitors to India, even countries like Pakistan, which can be a big competitor when it comes to textile and some of the other goods, were being offered a lower tariff than India. That obviously will not be acceptable to any government in Delhi, and obviously that's one of the sticking points. India certainly offers much more to the US compared to many of these countries in terms of the size of the economy, the kind of investments that are going between the two sides. So certainly India has an edge there, but it will require, again, as I've been saying, some deft handling, deft diplomacy in DC and Delhi. Prime Minister Modi and President Trump have to engage with each other on this specific issue, because obviously sometimes this is beyond the remit of even trade ministers. Because I want to explain to our viewers that this is, in a Trumpian world, it's President Trump's word which carries the most weight. While he may sometimes decide to go by what his advisors say, it is his own word which carries when it comes to decision making. And that is where India will have to step in. Prime Minister Modi may again have to intervene on this and get this trade deal settled, because the longer this lingers, the longer the friction between the two sides stay. And my sense is there is some, not only some deft diplomacy required, but some high voltage diplomacy required, because we cannot let the ball slip away on the India-US trade deal. Well, that was it for this week's episode for Washington Central. Do follow us, share the podcast on whatever platform that you are listening to us, watching us. Thanks for being with us.